Hi, this is part 2 of week 2 assignment read aloud. There are questions that I will answer from the prompt. The first question, or yeah, the first question I'm going to answer is share the title of the book and my rationale for choosing this particular book for this experience. I honestly didn't have another book. The book is called Llama Llama, Time to Share by Anna Dudney. This book was borrowed from my sister-in-law who has a 3-year-old son, and she bought all of the Llama Llama books to read to her son, and I chose Time to Share because sometimes he has a hard time sharing with all of his other friends and cousins. So I decided to read it. The second question is describe the process in preparing for your read aloud and how specifically did I prepare. I read the book twice just to make sure that my flow and fluency was okay, and I created some questions to ask during the read aloud. Sometimes I forgot to ask them and I kind of improvised a little bit, but it was interesting to read to myself and the computer screen. Number 3, how did you feel before you started reading aloud? I normally would have been really nervous. However, I've been teaching 5th grade on Zoom for the last 3 months, so that kind of gave me a little bit of practice to set up my camera, to get my camera face going, to read to myself on my computer screen, and get my teacher voice going a little bit. So that kind of helped out being on Zoom. When you began reading, while you were reading, and when you were done. When I was done, I kind of felt relieved because it was a little stressful to turn the pages looking at my computer screen under a light. It was a little hot. But I like reading children's books to kids or by myself, I guess. And I like getting into character and asking questions and seeing in my head, in this case, what reactions are of the students and some of the discussions that could happen, not just in this book, but in 5th grade books or whatever reading aloud that I may do with my students. I like to have a lot of conversations based around things that I have read to them. Number 4, what were the children's reactions to the book during, before, and after? I didn't read to any of the children. I had to read to myself in the computer. I started to have a lot of fun reading to myself. So I guess my reaction as a big kid was engaging. I would hope that when I read aloud to my students that the conversations are engaging and they are kind of fun stories. So I hope my students would have fun too. Number 5, share what you feel were your strengths and your challenges throughout this read aloud experience. My preparation was one of my strengths. And typically in a classroom setting, during some of my read alouds, I like to be really engaged with the students. That is one of my strengths. During this read aloud, one of the challenges was actually setting up in a small space to read aloud with a lot of other people around, and finding the time to do that when it was not a lot of people around, or they're trying to wind down for the day, so it was a little more quiet environment. That was one of the challenges that I had. What could you do differently to improve your next read aloud? Hopefully do it in a classroom instead of doing it on a computer screen, and have some children to read to, because that really helps me get into character and put energy into what I'm reading, and enthusiasm, and the different voices, and a lot more conversations happen around, so I can really steer my questioning to the different what the students are asking and talking about while I'm reading the story. What did you learn about reading aloud to children? That they're a lot of fun to read to, and they have huge imaginations, like myself. I like to picture what I'm reading. What else? Yeah, they have a huge imagination, and they ask a lot of questions. What did you learn about yourself as a teacher? That being on camera is not so scary anymore, because it is the new normal, and it's actually a lot easier than it used to be. I always find new ways to be engaging with the students when I am doing a read aloud, and I'm trying to find new ways to be engaging online and on camera, and it might be a lot of facial expressions or hand gestures and moving my head back and forth like I am now, to get my students engaged and have fun. I'm always trying to have fun with them. So that would be the end of my video for part B, week 2, read aloud assignment. I hope you enjoyed some of these videos at least, and I hope you have a good rest of your week. See you later.